It's his job to get the best deal for the state of New Mexico. But when it comes to his own travel, the state land commissioner has an expensive habit, and you're paying for it. Dean Staley went on special assignment to find out just how much he is spending and was surprised to find who's making the money off of it.
It's $10,000 a year. That's a lot of travel around the state.
New Mexico Land Commissioner Pat Lyons has a pilot's license, and he likes to use it.
22 Delta Victor, Double Eagle Tower.
During the last 6 years, Lyons spent tens of thousands of dollars renting a plane to fly himself to meetings and speaking engagements around the state at taxpayer expense. Records show that in 2005 alone, Lyons took 22 flights that cost you more than $24,000. March of 2008, records show he flew from Santa Fe to Las Cruces to, quote, meet with developers. The drive would have cost $180. He flew instead, and it cost taxpayers $1,442. In April, he spoke to the Rotary Club in TRC, then to a meeting in Clovis. Taxpayers picked up a $1,900 tab. By car, the price tag, $244. Lyons flew to Farmington in May, charging the state $1,442. Had he driven, taxpayers would have paid $134. Another flight in May, this time to Clovis, Clayton, and a natural resources conference in Wyoming. Lyons spent more than $3,500 to fly. Altogether in 2008, the land commissioner billed the state more than $24,000 for 16 separate flights.
We flew as efficient as you could around the state.
From Albuquerque to Las Cruces, $1,460. That's a lot of money. That really is a lot of money.
The numbers don't fly with State Representative Al Park.
I'm not sure that flying there at a cost of $1,400, $1,600 is the most cost-effective use of our money.
We checked with former State Land Commissioner Jim Baca. He says that during 6 years in office, he traveled almost exclusively by car. We got the same story from former Land Commissioner Ray Powell, who was reelected again to the job in November. He says he used the state plane only once during his previous term in office. Lyons says he was more active than his predecessors.
Well, the other land commissioners is Bach and Powell for me. I don't think they did much traveling at all.
Each time Lyons rented a plane, he used a company called Casey Aviation. In fact, between 2005 and 2010, the state paid Casey Aviation nearly $80,000 to rent a plane for Lyons. So who is Casey Aviation?
An online search for aircraft rental in New Mexico turns up lots of options. Casey Aviation isn't one of them. There's no listing for Casey Aviation in the phone book, and even though the company lists an Albuquerque address, the city has never heard of it.
We didn't find any Casey Aviation in our database or at that address.
So why would the land commissioner spend taxpayer money renting a plane from a company no one has ever heard of?
When we called the number on the state's invoice, we got the home phone of Kim Crook. He's a dentist in Northeast Albuquerque. Crook told me that Casey Aviation is a single plane that he rents to Commissioner Lyons for $375 an hour. Another business in Albuquerque rents the very same Cessna for less than $200 an hour. It turns out that Kim Crook and Lyons went to high school together in Clovis. Crook says they've been friends for decades.
Tell us how you came to Casey Aviation.
Well, I talked to a guy named Kim Crook down there. He said he had a 210, he would lease it out.
Now, you say you talked to a guy named Kim Crook.
Yes.
How you make it sound like you just came across this guy. You've known him for a long time. He says he went to high school with you.
That's right. So you're trying to box me in the corner on that?
Lyons insists his travels around the state have allowed him to do work well beyond his predecessors.
No, it's not a fair comparison, because they didn't get around and do projects around the state, create the uranium enrichment plant down in Lee County, and create jobs and help our beneficiaries. So $10,000 a year in travel is pretty cheap.
It's not news. We're facing a fiscal crisis. And in times of fiscal crisis, we need to be really careful with our money. We need to be good stewards of the public funds. And I'm not sure that that constitutes being a good steward of the money.
On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE, News 13.
Pat Lyons leaves his post as land commissioner at the end of the year, but he is not leaving state government. He was elected to the PRC, the Public Regulation Commission, in November.